Well, good evening everyone and welcome along to ILRGT Round 5 live from Suzuka. It's Round 5 of the championship and it is very, very tight at the top, so I've been away for a little while. Yeah, I won't go any further on that, but yeah, we're back. We're back here in Suzuka for Round 5 of the championship, and as I said, it is an extremely close fight at the top. 5 points separate the top 4 pretty much. We got a couple of drivers separated by 1 point at the top. And let me just get my screenshot up so I can show you or tell you what the situation in the championship. As we had a very, very close finish last time out in Maggiore is where we were last time. But here we are, we have Moreno, Vorhaven, the man you're watching on screen right now, top of the championship on a score of 21 points. But we have Jamie, who is second on the exact same points. So it's very, very close indeed. And ZR Mercedes, they're in third in the championship, 1 point off of the top 2. And then we have Tao, who's a little bit further back on, he's on about 16 points, so he's not that far behind. But I don't think, is he actually here, is the question. I don't think he is. Anyways, so then, Moreno currently fastest on a 158.7, he goes even quicker on a 158.0. Then we have It's Me P2, but a further 1.3 seconds back. However, he is on a time lap and looking like half a second up. We have a debutant here tonight, Kakzaksik. I think that's how you pronounce it. We've had some major arguments on Twitter about how you're pronouncing that, but Kakzaksik, I think it is. Driving the Fanta-sponsored AMG GT3 car there. And we have DNA Joe there in P5, Tom in P6 there, in that lovely BMW M6, I hope I'm getting that right, I think it's an M6. ZR Mercedes there in the Porsche. And J-Luke there in P8 with Brandon in Leanne in P10. We have Luke in the LMC Motorsport Porsche, then the Matter coming in for some fresh tyres it looks like. There he is, bouncing his way through. Teammates with Kakzaksik in that Fanta sponsored car. Then we have Corey in the other LMC Motorsport car coming out on track there. So, Shady Fruit popped into P2 there. He's 0.6 of a second off, but he is looking like he is going quicker. So let's go into the live timing. Here is the situation of the sectors. And those are your times. 13 drivers here today. 2 drivers missing, I think. And I think it's Tao and some others. Or one other guy. But here we are. We are waiting for qualifying or practice to come to an end. We are 12 minutes into the session. I believe it's a 15-minute long session. They've been going. They started a little bit earlier, about 10:02. So here we are watching Moreno coming through the last section of the Suzuka track. It's the full Suzuka GP circuit. So the one you all know and love. The site of many. Ooh, J-Luke going for a really big slide there. He's actually popped it into P2 and he's gone 0.07 of a second quicker in that sector. So, yeah, still getting used to this these camera setups. He looks like he's backed out of his lap. Shady Fruit is 0.7 of a second up, it looks like, in his last sector. He's coming through 130R now. Absolutely wonderful shots there from the GT Sport cameras. Getting on hard on the brakes. Through this last chicane, the Norwegian, getting it sideways, as Norwegians like to do in the rallying scene. But unfortunately, it doesn't really, it get you style points, but it won't get you championship points. So Moreno in control at this point. So the other lineup is It's Me. Then we have Zalan, who I think I missed actually. He's got in P5, Kakzaksik in P7, DNA Joe in P7, Tom in P8, ZR Mercedes in P9. He wants to get himself a little bit further up than that if he wants to keep competing for this championship. Corey in P10, Brandon in P11, Luke in P12, and the Matter in P13. Only 2 compounds of tyres available to drivers, if you remember, the Super Softs and Ultra Softs. Well, I think the variant, it's Super Softs and Softs probably is what they're called here. Let's see if anybody is improving. J-Luke, 10th of a second up. He's in the first sector. Coming up to the Degners, 1 and 2. Very easy to take it flat in a brand new F1 car, but not really feasible in a GT3 car, I'll tell you that. But maybe on GT Sport with the fantastic physics they have, as always. If you are watching, do say hello in the chat. We welcome you along to this race. And this is the last half of the season, actually. It's a short season of the GT Sport, but yeah, looking forward to the last half of the season. We've got 3 rounds left. 4 rounds left, including this one, or 4 rounds left after this. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, we're almost finished. We'll be finished by the end of this month, and that will bring us up to the beginning of the next ILR F1 season. So, Shady Fruit going onto a lap there. So, getting ourselves sorted there. Hello to Carbon in the chat there. So, let's see how the guys down the back are getting on. That's who's missing. Sam is missing Brandon's teammate. Corey coming across the line. He's starting a lap. ZR Mercedes, he really wants to get himself further up, as I said. He's on an out lap. Tom also looking like he's on an out lap in a very basic looking car there. DNA Joe on a personal best, it looks like. It looks like he might have had that lap invalidated. We also have Cax6 pit crew getting ready to receive him. So you'll see him coming in for some fresh rubber. Luke coming across the line. Matter, he's pops himself up to P6 that last time by. And we have Zalan in the most vibrantly coloured car you can possibly imagine. Got decals plastered over the car. Got Milka, you got the Hungarian flag, you got it's an assault on the eyes. Really. It's me up to P3. And where is J-Luke gone? That's interesting. He's down in P13. It looks like his lap has been deleted for some reason. But nobody able to displace Marino as of yet. So Carbon cheering on DNA Joe for the Dynamic Racing team there in the M6. Currently sitting P4. In the number 33 car, Max Verstappen's number, of course. Shady Fruit, J-Luke popping into P2 just there. So he's on the front row again. I think it was just a little glitch in the system there. Just make sure we're checking those live timings. There is your various sector times. And you can see where Moreno is gaining all that time in Sector 1. So much more commitment. It looks like he's 0.5 of a second quicker than J-Luke. So half a second is a lot of time to find. J-Luke's coming up to the back of him now. So hopefully they don't interfere with each other. J-Luke on an out lap, Marino on a timed lap. So hopefully J-Luke doesn't interfere with that. Marino will be looking in his mirrors, hoping for him to back off. But I think he does back off, he realises. Matt doing really well up in P4. His teammate Cax6 is down in P10 currently. And other than that, you see Zalan and that'll be Shady Fruit just getting a little bit together there. So yes, as I said, 1 point separates the top 3 drivers. So anything can happen here. ZR Mercedes, he gets himself further up. He's in P5 now. So he needs to be up with those guys at the top. You can see he's actually sporting the number 46 there. The Valentino Rossi's number there. It's pretty much exactly copy and pasted off his bike. So there it is, and look at that, purple in the first sector from ZR Mercedes. So let's keep an eye on him. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Saying from the host, look at the back end coming out of ZR Mercedes car, and that's it, spinning in the Degners. Very easy place to go off. Into the tyre bar as he goes, pushing very hard, but that's the consequence. So he'll compose himself and get another lap in. It's me in the pit box, and Owen Wyatt joins in the fun. So that's what one of the drivers we were missing. So he manages to get himself in. Just see Corey right up behind Moreno. And I am actually going to have to take a quick toilet break. So keep an eye on Moreno. Oh, the benefits of a non-suite. Anyways, Moreno, oh dear, getting involved with Corey there, coming up towards 130 over. Corey got himself warmed up, and just noticed Kaksaksik coming into P5 there. Oh dear, getting it sideways at the top of the hill there. But a very mixed up field here, which is always great to see. And it has been the most mixed up season I've ever seen, and it's looking really tasty at the top of the championship. So literally anybody is capable of a race win here, and we saw it come right down to the wire last time out at Maggiore. The last lap decided the winner through a battle for the lead, but Moreno looks just absolutely in command today with a 158.0 and absolutely on it. But that looks like an invalidated lap to me. So he's half a second clear. J-Luke on a personal best first sector. You just see there, popping and banging through the Degners. That AMG 3/10 of a second up on his best time. So he's looking really good. So keeping an eye on J-Luke then. Running a bit wide out of the hairpin. That'll cost him. Zalan pops into P5. So how are the others getting on? Matt coming across the line there. Zalan getting the back end stuck out, and that's a spin. That is a spin for the man, but he's got it going. No, he definitely has not got that going again. Spin in the first sector. Yellow flags, gets out of the way. But Jay looks still on a personal best. So here it comes towards 130R. Sweeping past, you'll see him. Slight lift through there, not quite the amount of downforce. He runs very wide. But I think there's about 3 minutes left to go in this session before we begin the race. And as always, there are very quick races. And he dives into the pit lane, so he's going to get some fresh tyres. As the air horn calls out. Moreno going a bit deep into that chicane, maybe a little bit more than he'd like. You'll see J-Luke get the fresh tyres on, and a very quick stop. So let's see if Moreno can go even faster than he has been. Let's check if anybody else is on a personal best. Everyone seems to be down on their best. Checking down the field, just see, oh, DNA Joe straight out of the bag for Dynamic Racing, putting it into P3, 0.6 of a second off of the fastest time, but displaces Shady Fruit in P4. So then, we're getting towards the dying moments of qualifying, the embers, if you will. Shady Fruit down on his best time. J-Luke has to get back around to complete an outlap and get another lap in. Moreno, how's he doing? Is he up on his best time? Let's see. He's coming through Degner 2. Up towards the hairpin? No, he's definitely not. So the only guys who can displace him are really these guys here, unless somebody else pulls an amazing lap out of the bag. But Moreno set the pace early on, and nobody has been able to displace him just yet. And there you see Owen Wyatt down in P13. He did join in. Let's just give him a bit of airtime for a second. The only driver in the 488 GT3 Ferrari there, so good to see him in there. 14 drivers, Corey, in the pit box there. So we're getting towards the last moments of qualifying. J-Luke should... Well, he's actually not going to get another lap, so it is going to be Moreno on pole position once again. As, oh dear, stylishly into the wall. But here we go. We're ready for the start of round 5 of the ILR GT series here. And it's very, very exciting stuff here. So Moreno on pole, J-Luke on P2. It's a rolling start as always, 20 laps of the Suzuka circuit, and we're getting ready to go. J-Luke on the second row, on the front row alongside, and then DNA Joe on the second row. So here we go then, we're about to come through the chicane, and we're about to get underway for the ILR GT3 round 5. Green flags wave, we are racing in Suzuka, and look at the gap he's already got. Moreno surges away, and here we go, the start of the Grand Prix. So Moreno leads away, J-Luke in P2, and DNA Joe already starting to pressure for P2 then. So down to the turn 1, it's going to be the M6, and it take P2 away from J-Luke. No fight put up from him, so through he goes into P2, and now he can already start chasing after Moreno there. So further down, Shady Fruit in P4, Kaksaksik up in P5, everybody pretty much in their starting positions. So anybody made up any place, as we see Luke going very wide through turn 1, it's me going wide as well. And there's, oh dear, there's been contact between Owen Wyatt and Corey. Not good stuff there. So back to the front, and you see side-by-side action between Kaksaksik and J-Luke. So he's already asserting himself, the Finn in the Fanta car, trying to get past Shady for P3. He's already trying to make up 2 positions in the space of a couple of corners. You see Matt trying to capitalise as well, so it's an absolute mare for J-Luke. He's dropping back position after position after position. So through they come through Degner 2 for the first time. Zalan running wide. So is DNA Joe right on the back? Yes, he is. So DNA Joe challenging for the lead of this race. Gets the back end out, so he's not going to be able to do anything there. But Kaksaksik looking very, very quick already, asserting himself really early on in this race. Mandatory pit stop, of course, so they will all have to come in at some point, but it is their choice as to when. DNA Joe getting on the back of Moreno. So the rolling starts really didn't quite work on this track. Everybody was so spaced out. So let's get back to a few battles further back. ZR Mercedes trying to get on the back of Zalan. Tom going wide as well, as it's showing Zalan as 14th for some reason, but he is in we think he's in P5. I think he's actually glitched for some reason, but he is being shown as being in P14. Now, you cannot be that bad to get lapped that quickly. Zero Mercedes needs to get past. J-Luke was stuck in auto drive, so that is the problem for him. He's stuck in auto drive. His AI has taken over, and he's not been able to get that turned off. So Kaksaksik makes the move past Shady Fruit for P3. So it's an absolute disaster for J-Luke. The game glitching out and getting him stuck in auto drive. As we see, oh dear, Shady Fruit running wide. That puts the Matter up into P4. Zalan, oh, just about to get past there. Shady Fruit comes back onto the track, and ZR Mercedes trying to get past now. So chaos, as always, on the opening lap of the ILR GT3 series here. So that is the reason DNA Joe was able to make the move so quickly past. Now Moreno opening a little bit of a gap, but he's not in a comforting place right now. He's got DNA Joe all over the back of him. Coming up to the hairpin, flashing his lights in the rearview mirror there for Dynamic Racing Team versus BMW M Sport. 2 different teams, but 2 BMW cars. So factory team versus customer team. How is this going to go? Let's go further down the order then, see how guys are getting on. We see Owen Wyatt, a couple of other guys. You see J-Luke kind of just trundling around. He cannot get out of auto drive. That is the AI that is driving there. So the scream of the Ferrari V8 fills the air for once, as Owen Wyatt comes through to try and get on the back of Luke here. Keep an eye on that little battle as well. So further up, let's see if there's any moves being made. We see Shady Fruit getting on the back of Zal, and he's right trying to slipstream through 130R. And thinking about a move. Oh, he thinks about it, but can't quite do it. So backs out of it. Hello to Dylan Cotton. Thanks for joining us, mate. So, Zalan, what can he do? Trying to get past the Matter. You see the battle for the lead up top, and Kakzaksik kind of in no man's land in between the two of them. So here comes Zalan. He's going to make a move. Thinks about it, but can't quite do it. With some interesting decals on that car, including the Fade Groups decal, and you can use ILR League in the as a discount code on fadegroups.com. You can get 15% off some grips. So I got my sponsor plug in there. So yeah, fadegroups.com, 15% off using ILR League as the discount code. So here he comes, Zalan, on the back of the Matter, coming up the hill for the third time today, and getting on the inside already. He's already alongside, forcing his way through there. Alongside, they go towards Degner. He's going to be on the outside through Degner 1. Surely not around the outside through Degner 1. No, can't quite do it. Matter shoves him off. And good little battle though, so out of Degner 2, Zalan gets alongside, and you can see ZR Mercedes coming alongside Shady Fruit as well. It's getting absolute chaos here in the opening laps. So Zalan thinks about a move, but ZR Mercedes thinks about a move around the outside of Shady Fruit. Tom is also getting involved in the background as well. He gets alongside ZR Mercedes. So can the Northern Irishman think about making a move here? So everybody nose to tail from 4th down to 8th. Back to Zalan into Spoon. Can he think about anything? No. He's got on the inside through Spoon. No, can't do it. So he's gonna have to slipstream down towards 130R. But he's now got a train of cars. If anybody makes a mistake, they're gonna lose out hugely. So here they come through 130R. He's gonna have to go around the outside if he wants this one. He's alongside down towards 130R. Two cars side by side, two abreast, coming through 130R around the outside. No, he can't do it. Shady Fruit all around the outside. No, none of them can do it. It's too difficult. But here comes ZR Mercedes around the outside of Zalan. Can't do it. So he forces him off. The Matter goes off as well. ZR Mercedes is the big winner out of that one, and Zalan the big loser. So some great stuff there, and some interesting stuff. Here comes, where's It's Me come out of? He's come in to try and get past these guys here. Look at Tom trying to make a move past Zalan as well. They're going 3 wide down towards turn 1. Tom down the inside of Zalan for P6 and gets that move done. So a nice move from the Northern Irishman there, and gets through into P6. So the Matter actually catching up to Kakzaksik in P3 as well, his teammate. So how's the battle up front going? The gap has opened up to 1.1, but DNA Joe holding on. Now ZR Mercedes, this is crucial. He needs to get past, and he is going to get past, because Matt is going to go off into the gravel trap and going to lose out. So a lapse of judgment looks like there, and loses. That's how much time you can lose. So coming up the hill then, Zalan still is on, pressuring Tom now. He's trying to stick his nose up the inside. There's contact made, and Zalan actually lost out there, and It's Me is going to slingshot past in the AMG. So now ZR Mercedes can get on the chase of Kakzaksik, who's doing a great job up in P3 then. DNA Joe kind of starting to lose touch a little bit with Moreno, who's just dominating out front right now. And if he holds on like this, he'll get a nice, comfortable buffer in the championship. So let's keep an eye on this little train going on here between Tom, It's Me, and Zalan. Further down as well, we got Corey and Luke in P10 and 11. And J-Luke's still stuck in auto drive, it looks like, which is a real shame for him. It's a real shame because he's sitting P2 in the championship, joint on points with Moreno, and now he's not going to score any points, unfortunately. But meanwhile, this is the man who can actually challenge Moreno, really, as I think we saw a move as Tom has just gone wide into turn 1 and lost out hugely there. Just gets out back in front of Callum, but Callum, oh, that was audacious. Thought about it but couldn't quite do it. But ZR Mercedes is 1 point adrift of Moreno, and he needs to make a move on. He needs to catch up to Kakzakzik. But these guys are a long way ahead there. He's got 13.5 seconds to make up. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but he's driven a great race so far. Qualified so far down and already up to P4. Meanwhile, oh dear, that's the matter off into the gravel trap at the exit of Degner 1. And there's Corey making the most of it in the LMC Motorsport car. So then, looking at it's me and Tom going at it here for P7. Two guys in ILR2 well, coming to the last race in ILR2 this season. These guys going at it in ILRGT as well. So good to see this varying motorsports and still going side by side and having a good old race. So down towards 130R, he'll have a good slipstream. Callum, of course, the ILR2 world champion. Okay, look at the defense from Tom. Very aggressive across to the outside. He's going to give It's Me the inside. So Callum will just shove him right off the track there. And into P7 goes Callum. I also see Corey getting involved in there. They're all ILR2 drivers here. So Corey getting himself in the mix as well. In that Coca-Cola Light sponsored car. And up ahead you can see ZR Mercedes and Zalin going at it. Zalin trying to get back past ZR Mercedes. So ZR Mercedes has a problem somewhere because he's dropped a lot of time. Either that or Zalin has really been putting in those lap times. So coming through up the hill. Trying to stick with him. Don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Let's keep an eye on this little battle as Tom is still on the back of Callum. So this little train of ILR2 guys going on here. Of course, ILR2 lineups for next season will be announced on Sunday. Tune into the stream. Here's Tom trying to look up the inside of Callum down towards Degner 1. Can't quite do. Might get the cut back towards Degner 2. Yes, he will. He'll be alongside, but thinks about it and backs out of it. But is he still alongside? Not quite. But look who's in the mix now. Corey on the outside up towards the hairpin and slipstreams past and gets past. I maybe think, yeah, double overtake here for Corey, going to launch him down the inside of Callum and gets past. So a nice sequence of moves there for Corey there. So good stuff from him, but Callum is still alongside him. Down towards Spoon Corner, side by side. The two AMG GT3s. Varying teams, varying drivers. Down the inside for Corey. Can he get it done? No, he can't. As It's Me holds it on the outside through Spoon, but he goes wide. And that gives Corey into P7. And Tom still trying to hold on in P8. Corey runs wide. Now, we got a serious train going on here. We see them alongside Matt. Matter around the outside towards 130R and gets the move done. And there's Tom trying to hold on versus Corey. Or is he trying to go make a move on Corey? Let's keep an eye. Corey actually got done around the outside of 130R there. So a nice move from Tom and the BMW. And look at Matter getting involved here. And in comes Matt for his pit stop. So he's going to leave Corey and Tom. Look at Tom, the defense from him, absolutely crazy, against the wall. And here he comes down the inside for Corey to turn 1. Can't quite do it, stick his nose in and maybe get it done in turn 2. Why does he have his indicator on? No one knows. Banging tires as they come through, but can't quite get that move done. So a great little scrap going on down there for the midfield. Meanwhile, Shady Fruit gets his way past Zalin for P5 and gives ZR Mercedes a bit of room to work with. So Paul McGinn is saying there is a train and I'm not involved. What is this? Well, your teammate kind of got himself involved in there. So at the moment it's the Thomas the train. Not quite Thomas the tank engine, but Thomas the train. The Thomas train. Interesting to see, as I said, all the ILR2 guys in the train and completely different motorsports as Corey locks it up through the hairpin. I think Callum did the same thing as well, getting aggressive on those brakes. Now Luke has made his stop, Brandon has made his stop, Owen White I think has also made his stop. We have a yellow flag in this sector. Who is that? That's ZR Mercedes, crucially, who's gone off in Spoon Corner, giving Zalan P4, and he's got back past Shady Fruit again. So we'll stick for this battle here. So here we go. Shady Fruit getting the slipstream on Zalan through 130R. Might think about a move into the chicane as he gets a wiggle on through the 130R. Thinks about it. Will be a big dive from Shady Fruit down the inside to the chicane, but he can't get it done as Zalan holds on the outside. DNA Joe in for his pit stop. Let's watch the crew go to work here. The Dynamic Racing crew go to work. And who else is in? We have Tom in and Shady Fruit in for his stop. Let's watch the other teams go to work here. Tom in for his stop. Out comes DNA Joe. So that puts Moreno leads Kazak6 in P2 and Zalan in P3 as a result of DNA Joe's stop. He comes back out in P6. Now we'll have to see if Moreno will respond to that. Setting qualifying laps, 58.1, fastest lap for him as well. So let's see if this battle is still a little bit on, but they've spread out a little bit more thanks to these pit stops. We have a yellow flag as that's Luke who's gone off in turn 1. Just about gets going again. Back to the front. Keep an eye on Moreno. Current championship leader. And going to extend his gap today. If he, of course, can convert this into a win. Go up to a total of 31 points. But the gap would still remain under 10. So it will remain very close. Let's see if Moreno responds to DNA Joe coming in. Yes, he does. So in comes Moreno. So the factory team are about to make their stop. This is the BMW M Sport crew about to go to work. He's only got 1 litre of fuel left, so he had to come in. Kakzaksik is going to stay out and lead for the first time in the ILR GT3 series. So Moreno about to get on his way. Zalan comes in as well. So that just see the fuel man going to work there. ZR Mercedes stays out. And we'll go to P2. And now DNA Joe. Where is Moreno comes out behind ZR Mercedes and just in front of DNA Joe, I think. Yes, he does. So he has come out in front. But he does come up behind ZR Mercedes now. If he doesn't come in, he can hold him behind. Hello to AOR David Ben and a couple of other guys, MK Bourne-Wise and J Luke, all in the chat. Welcome to the stream, all of you up, and I hope you're enjoying. So Kakzak6, 10.8 clear out front, but he has to make another stop. Mandatory pit stops. These top 2 have to make a stop. So the current guys 1 and 2 are currently Moreno and DNA Joe. And he has a gap of about 6 seconds over DNA Joe. And guys saying Kakzak6 must be marginal on fuel. Yes, he surely is. If Moreno was only on 1 litre coming in, but he's surely stretching out. I don't think he's pushing very hard. Gets it getting through Spoon nicely there for him. ZR Mercedes, oh my goodness me. Tyres almost shot for sure there. Completely opposite lock into Spoon. Heroically saved it. But his championship rival coming up behind him, Moreno. So Kakzak6 surely has to come in. He can't have much fuel left, and he does come in. So he takes the honour of having led. He had 4 litres of fuel left, as you can see there. But ZR Mercedes, will he come in, or will he try and hold Moreno behind him? No, he comes in. Oh dear. And he had 1 litre of fuel left. So Kakzak6 into the pits, gets the tyres changed. Moreno will now take back the lead of the 5th round of the ILR GT series here in Suzuka. Shady Fruit will go into P3 now. Where is ZR Mercedes going to come out relative to Zalan? Will he come out in front of Zalan? Kaksaxic comes out just behind Shady, so Kaksaxic still in with a shot of a podium here for sure. And DNHO sitting around 6 seconds behind Moreno. 10 laps to go here in Suzuka. So Kaksaxic well in with a shot of a podium here. Meanwhile, further down the order, ZR Mercedes comes out behind Tom. So this little battle has kind of settled down, but It's Me and Corey still going at it in P8. So, coming through the S's here in Suzuka. The number 24 versus the number 44. And coming towards the Degners, there's a nice tasty little battle going on. And Corey seems to have his left indicator on for some reason. We're not quite sure why. Oh dear, where's he gone? Oh, he's gone straight on at Degner 2. Just disappeared off the shot there for a second. Now the Matter takes over P9. Luke obviously having a bad time down in P12 and has time to type. So up front, gap 6.4. But look at this battle. Shady Fruit to the outside towards 130R. We have a battle for P2, ladies and gentlemen. Shady Fruit trying to go around the outside of 130R. And he does it. What a move from Shady Fruit around the outside of 130R. And holds on to P2. Kaksaxic's trying to launch him down the inside. There's contact and around. Holds on to it though. So DNAJ holds on to P3. But what a stunning move from Shady Fruit. Absolute trust in the tyres and gets past into P2. Now, can he catch up to Moreno is the next question. You can see Zalan in the background as well. Tom up to P6 as well now. So, he's holding in front of ZR Mercedes. So, how are the guys down here doing? On White having his own little race. 10 and P13. Luke going around, not having a good time. So, has there been a problem for somebody? Because I just saw Zalan wiggling around through the S's. Kakzak 6. Oh, no! Holds on to it. I was just about to say he's doing well in P4 and I almost completely cursed him. But he's gonna lose a chunk of time to DNA Joe now. That gap between Moreno and Shady Fruit sitting at around 7 seconds. And Moreno is just in absolute total control of this race. So, Kaksaxix is about 3 seconds behind DNA Joe. And we have about 9 laps to go. Well, about 8 at this point. Moreno is close to crossing the line. And Shady Fruit chipping away at the gap. So, it could be in for a little close one if he keeps that pace up. But he wants to keep an eye on behind as DNA Joe tries to close in back up to him, of course. ZR Mercedes trying to close up to Tom here. So here he comes then in the GoPro sponsored Porsche. Very nice design actually, nice little chrome inlay to it almost. So he's going to get the slipstream down the main straight onto lap 12 they will go then. So through they go for the 12th time today. We'll also keep an eye on the gap between Shady Fruit and Moreno, see if it's coming down at all. Tom getting a little bit more curve than he should do there. And now he's under massive pressure from ZR Mercedes. Around the right-hander, trying to stick his nose in, but can't quite do it. Tom gets a bit of a slide on there. So, let's see if he can get any move done here as Tom goes very wide through Degner 1, and that's going to be it. Edo Mercedes takes over P6. Meanwhile, the gap, look at that, Shady Fruit taking a second out of Moreno that lap, so he's now 5 seconds behind Moreno. So we could be in for a very tasty battle at the end of the Grand Prix if Shady can keep this pace up. Meanwhile, we certainly have a battle for P3. Kakzakzik right on the back of DNA Joe. And Kakzakzik, the real outstanding performer here. DNA Joe, what is he doing there? Almost saying hello to him. And Kakzakzik's trying to pull alongside, and he is going to pull alongside down towards 130R. So can he get the move done? He's going to be alongside. DNA Joe trying to hold it around the outside. No, he can't. Kakzakzik gets into P3. Will DNA Joe try to come back into the chicane? No, he won't. So Kakzakzik takes over a P3 and is on for a great podium today. But he's got to keep DNA Joe behind him, of course. Meanwhile, 4.8 seconds the gap. So he is chipping away at it. Is Shady. See, Zalman looks like he's had a problem. Zedar Mercedes could maybe take over P6 or P5 here. So he's going to sweep past and take it. But he will give Zalman the slipstream down towards turn 1. But there's no way he can keep up with that. Meanwhile, let's see if we've got anything going on here. These guys are kind of in no man's land all on their own. Well, I say that, but Owen White and Luke's going at it down here in P11, this will be. See if Owen White can maybe make a move on Luke here. Ferrari on Porsche, you're going to go around the outside of the hairpin when he thinks about it, backs out of it. So let's see if he can make a move towards Spoon. You can see Moreno actually coming around to lap them, and he's trying to hold it around the outside, but he can't quite get it. So maybe into Spoon perhaps, and Luke goes defensive. And now Owen White tries to go around the outside of Spoon corner. Yes, he does get shoved wide, so can't quite complete the move. But he gets a massive cutback and forces his way past Luke there into Spoon corner there. So the gap is 4 seconds now. The gap is most certainly coming down, and that is it. Zalan is your first retirement. Actually, your second retirement after J. Luke. So Zalan is out of this Grand Prix. Shame for him, really. So any other battles going on here? We may see one between Corey and Matt shortly. And Brandon doing well up in 9th as well. In the SBS racing car there. Very nicely designed car. And just as I say he's doing well, look what he's done. He's dumped it in the wall. And oh dear, that is why Shady was pulling so much time. He's had to make another stop. He obviously underfueled the car. And I think he's made an absolute disaster of the strategy there. In he comes. And that's his shot of a win over here. So that was why he was catching up, unfortunately. He underfueled the car on the first stopper. He didn't even make a stop. So out he comes. He's come out in P4. 21 seconds behind the leader and drops behind ZR Mercedes. So right now, Moreno 12 seconds clear out front and doesn't look like he's going to be challenged. So that was an absolute disastrous strategy there from Shady Fruit. I'm not sure what he was thinking, but it almost led to a battle for the lead, but then you must have realised, I'm not going to get around. I'm not going to finish this race if I don't come in. So that puts ZR Mercedes into P4. Kakzak6 now into P2, so he's on for a great finish today. So I saw that Corey actually got past the matter there, in for P7. DNA Joe with a bit of a problem there. Of course, now ZR Mercedes is going to be very, very vulnerable to Shady. He's on brand new tyres and a freshly fueled car. So, he's looking very good, but I think he's going to be very, very vulnerable to Shady Fruit down towards 130. Oh, he got a massive slipstream. Down towards the second last turn here. How far is Kakzakzik? He's 12.8 behind and doesn't look to be catching, so Moreno can kind of relax a little bit. And I'll just try and see if I can do a live points update for you all here. Because Moreno is now probably going to... Well, I think he is going to take a commanding lead of the championship after this race. Trying to see if I can get the points up. But the win will take Moreno up to 31 as ZR Mercedes gets the wiggle on there. So he's holding on for P4, but I think the Matter's actually come in for another stop as well. So a few people must be struggling with the tyre wear. So this win will take Moreno up to 31 points. It'll be a non-score for J-Luke, of course. And this will, of course, bring ZR Mercedes up about... It'll either take him up to 25, or it will take him to 24. So it's either one of the two. But I think it's going to be 25 as Shady Fruit just gets the exit and goes past into the hairpin. So Moreno will have a nice lead now of about 7 points going into the last few rounds. But of course this battle isn't over. ZR Mercedes launches it back down the inside of Spoon, catches Shady unawares and gets back into P4. So a nice move from him there. Kaczak 6, the gap is coming down between himself and Moreno. Came down about a second that time around. ZR Mercedes and Shady Fruit having a big ding-dong battle here, and they're both catching DNA Joe, who's just up the road. So Shady Fruit, can he go around the outside of 130R? No, he can't. So some excellent racing going on as usual, as DNA Joe is really sliding the car through the chicanes there. So ZR Mercedes could still be on for a podium here, so he could really keep his championship hopes alive if he gets past DNA Joe. That would of course really help his chances. So let's see if he can do it. So the gap is still around 11.3, so he's kind of catching, but there's just not enough laps left for him to get past. So this will bring him to 26 points if he manages to hold on to P3. So it'll only be 5 points. So it is a very, very tight championship either way. So he's still in with a shot, but it just means J-Luke will be a long way back as just DNA Joe just disappeared off the screen and into the wall. So ZR Mercedes into P3. So now this is a battle for the podium slot. So that's an absolute disaster for DNA Joe. He's doing so well. And he's just like, looks like he stalled it, actually. There's no sound coming out of that car, so that looks like it's race over for DNA Joe and the Dynamic Racing crew there. Dynamic Racing team, yeah, that is it, he's out. So that's a shame for him. Moreno still in the lead out front, and has been out there ever since the lead, or ever since the start of this Grand Prix. So now, this is the real battle going on here between ZR Mercedes and Shady. I think we've actually lost... Did we lose Tom as well? Yes, we did. I think we must have lost him a while back, because I didn't even notice. But, yeah, Dino Joe, I think he must have run out of fuel or something, because I think his engine just cut out completely. Was not able to hold on. And that must have been it. So, can ZR Mercedes hold on to take a podium? And it would be an excellent podium for him. He started down in 11th or 12th, if I remember correctly. Or about 7th, I think. But now look at Shady all over the back of him. So, right on the back of him up through the S's here. Kaksaksik, how's he doing? Still holding that gap, and he's doing an excellent job. Oh, Mercedes gets the wiggle on. How has he held on to that? What a save from Zeno Mercedes, and holds on to P3. But now Shady Fruit trying to look down the inside towards Degner 1 and 2. And Shady Fruit, can he get it done? Can he quite do it? No, he can't. Zeno Mercedes shoves him right off the track there. That might be one for the stewards. But Zeno Mercedes gives him the position. But that was an excellent save from Zeno Mercedes to hold on to it. But that might be one for the stewards later on. Shady Fruit up to P3 now. Let's see if he can hold on. Meanwhile, let's see how the other guys are getting on. Callum up in P5, Matt up in P6, Corey in P7. And these only 9 drivers left. So these are the only 2 that are really close together. This battle may continue for the next 3-ish laps. I think Mercedes had a really, really poor run out of Spoon. So of course, if you do have any questions, leave them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. As we round out the last few laps of the 5th round of the ILRGT series here. Great racing as always, but I don't think we're going to quite get the climactic finish we did last time out of Maggiore. But I could be wrong, anything can happen. But that gap has gone up by 2 seconds to Moreno. So he's now 13 seconds behind. So we've got about 3 laps left, 2 laps if you don't count this one. But everybody else has pretty much been lapped. So we're just cruising to... Oh dear, Zeno Mercedes. He's lost the back end. At least, well, he's got to be careful because Callum's only about 4 seconds back, so he can't afford to keep making mistakes like that. So Moreno has been in absolute control of this race today. Absolutely no problems for him. He's going to take the Triple Crown as such. The full house, fastest lap, pole position, and a race win all in one weekend. So another masterclass display from him, really. Other guys have had some great battles down the field, of course. The ILR2 guys had a great little battle in the midfield. And here comes Moreno to begin lap 19. And he's about to come up to lap Brandon, who's down in 8th position. Driving around in that lovely green Porsche 911. And he runs well off the track. Don't know if that was intentional or not, but if it was, very stylish. Lets Moreno through. On to lap 19 of 20. So this little battle going on. Zeno Mercedes quite a ways back from Shady Fruits. So pretty much these guys have just got to nurse the cars to the end now. So these guys have done well for the entire race. I think the rolling start was quite uneven. Everybody was so spaced out. But anyways, it was a shame for J. Luke. Got a glitch and got stuck in auto drive. The AI wouldn't let him go. So, could have had a real battle on our hands. Because J. Luke is tied on points with Moreno. And he's going to have a no score here today. Which is unfortunate for him. But that is how things go, unfortunately, and it is a shame to be really in contention for a championship, leading the championship, essentially, and having that taken away from you by a game glitch. But Moreno coming around 130R to begin the final lap, lap 20 of 20. in the BMW M Sport car. A car that is dominating proceedings today. Factory teams always seem to take the spoils. And they look like they're about to take another victory here. So all he has to do is make sure that he doesn't make any mistakes. I'm just noticing Shady Fruit not far behind Kaksaksik here. There he is, and there's Kaksaksik up the road. So hopefully he doesn't make any mistakes and holds on to that P2. But it is unfortunate to be taken out by a game glitch. So hopefully we won't see that again. Hello to GT Player 599 joining us on the final lap, unfortunately. But of course these streams are recorded, so they will be uploaded as a video as soon as this is finished, and you can watch the entire race afterwards. Or you can go buy yourself some fake grips. Use code ILR League for 15% off. I got about 2 plugs in today. I'm happy with that. So Marino coming up to the hairpin for the last time, making sure he hits all those apexes. And he's going to round the last few corners to extend the championship lead, to take it away from a tie and open it up. He's going to... I keep forgetting my gaps, so he's not going to be far. It's going to be about a 5 to 6 point gap. Maybe 31 to about 25, I think it's going to be. It's about a 25 point gap. And Moreno, here he comes through the final corner. It's an absolute dominant display. The full house for him today. Fastest lap, race victory, pole position. Moreno Voorhaven crosses the line and wins in Suzuka for the 5th round of the ILRGT series. Kaksaksik only just holds on versus Shady Fruit. Imagine if there was one more lap left. Shady Fruit right on the back of him. It might be a run for the line. Kaksaksik is going to hold on and take P2. Shady Fruit rounds out the podium in P3. ZR Mercedes will come across the line to finish in P4. Great race from him, but now has got his work cut out to catch up to the championship leader. Crosses the line and he'll take over P2 in the championship. Callum and Matt going out into the final corner. Look at this. Matt trying to take around P5. Callum trying to hold on versus Matt, and Matt's going to actually take it. No, he's not. He's going to get spun. Ah, look at that. It's me spinning Matt around in the final corner. That is one for the stewards. Get Charlie on the phone. So Matt comes across the line and takes P6, and Corey will come across the line to take P7, we think. Luke parks the car up. He's done for the day. Corey's actually going to, well, he's going to go off into the gravel, but Luke is stuck in auto drive as well, and that's going to be it. It looks like Brandon Tate will take 8th, so bit of an interesting finish. Kaksaksik and Shady Fruit going side by side there, giving each other the respect they deserve from each other. So, but it is Moreno who takes the spoils today. P1, fastest lap in pole position. Congratulations to him. He is your new championship leader. And we'll take that into the next round. So we'll see Moreno take the spoils. Here he is in victory lane. It is his day, and it is BMW M Sports Day. And that's going to be it for round 5 of the ILR GT series. We hope you enjoyed. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you next time out. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.